And the good news is the energies are going to become a little bit less intense than they were in April, which was an extremely tense month for all of us. Welcome everybody from Shambles to Shambhala. We're filming this right at the end of April, and we've got an absolutely glorious spring, warm, sunny day today, and the blossoms are out and the greenness of the earth. It's just beautiful. Just wanted to mention this end of April contains a very challenging, intense energy on Saturday the 26th. So I hope you navigate through that okay, because everything in the field is going to be up. Our own unhealed self, our wounding, our triggers, and the tendency to project out onto others. So you may have already passed through that by the time you see this. Hopefully you handled it well. If you didn't, you may want to look closely into whatever it was that triggered you and what impacted your tendency to project out into the world rather than taking full responsibility for yourself. The whole point of this very tense fixed cross in the fixed signs was to break out of it, was to break out of the tension, to clear the path for the following day, the 27th, which was the new moon in Taurus. This was a great day to ground the energies in of the new earth coming in. Whatever you want for yourself in this new earth energy, to ground it in, anchor it in, and make it real. And then that brings us into May. And the good news is the energies are going to become a little bit less intense than they were in April, which was an extremely tense month for all of us. So May should be a little bit lighter for us, and there are one or two very positive days for us to enjoy. And the beginning of May is always Beltane in the pagan tradition. Beltane means bright fire. It's the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It's when we start seeing signs of summer. It's when, in the traditional old days, the cattle were taken out into pasture, and they had these two big bonfires, and they drove the cattle through the smoke of the two bonfires to purify them and protect them for their time out in the pastures. And it's also a time of fertility. So there would be some young couples who would actually jump the fire, again, to get that purification and that protection for the time to come. It is the season of fertility, the maypole, the yellow flowers and the white flowers, and making merry. That's what the maypole signifies in its fertility. Now, the actual day it's celebrated is May Day, May the 1st, but it's supposed to be the midpoint, as I said, which is at 15 degrees of Taurus. And that doesn't actually happen until Sunday, May 4th, which is the day we're having our next node point gathering in Victoria. So it's the perfect day right on the Beltane day to celebrate our connection to Mother Earth and really anchor the energies in. On May the 2nd, we have this absolutely beautiful planetary alignment, and that is taking place with Venus and Neptune coming into a conjunction in the 1st degree of Aries. And you can't have a more beautiful conjunction than Venus and Neptune. Venus, the sacred feminine, relationships, love, partnership. Neptune, our spiritual selves. So this is that beautiful opportunity to really step up into our spiritual truth through the sacred feminine, moving through that weekend through Beltane. Then the next big one is an interesting one. It's on the 10th of May. And this is when Mercury, the planet of the mind, moves into Taurus, the sign of stubbornness, of rigidity. So this is when your mind is likely to get stuck. You could get thick-headed, stubborn in your thinking. So just be aware of that as we want to move through it and into the next day, which of course is Mother's Day on the 11th. So this is the day to embrace and honor all the feminine principles of your ancestral lineage, to your own mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, Mother Earth herself, and the great cosmic mother. Then the very next day, on the 12th of May, we have the full moon in Scorpio, which is the Wesak Full Moon. It's considered by many to be the most powerful moon of the year. It's when the Buddha returns to the Wesak Valley high in the Himalayas, where he blesses the people for 8 minutes. The Christ is also there to distribute the blessings. So the Christ and the Buddha work together on the Wesak festival, which takes place this year on May 12th. Very, very powerful day for us to work with. And then moving along, another really important time is May 20th, when the 20th gene key begins its annual illumination of the sun. And why that is significant is that the 20th gene key is part of the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And that always takes place when the 34, the 20, the 55 or the 59 get illuminated by the sun. So this triggers the cross, which is responsible for the new age of Aquarius coming in. So this is another opportunity to have a nice dress rehearsal for 2027 when the age of Aquarius is fully embodied. This 20th gene key city is presence. So for that 5-day period from the 20th to the 25th, it's inviting us to be fully present in our thinking and in our physical body, to be in the present moment and to be grounded into the earth. And then on the 25th of May, when the 20th begins to close, we have another spectacular alignment. This has been looked forward to by astrologers for a long time because it's when Neptune and Saturn come together. Now, Saturn has a 28-year period. Neptune has a 165-year period. And magically, they come into conjunction together at 1 degree of Aries on May the 25th. So Neptune is all about that spiritual higher calling, that higher consciousness. And Saturn is about structure, making it real. So this day is a wonderful opportunity to dream your greatest dream into reality, to create the structure that is important for us in the future. And it happens to begin on the first day of the 16th gene key, which is all about structure. So this is creating the best possible structure that we can to contain this higher frequency calling that we are now responding to as we get closer and closer to the full embodiment of the age of Aquarius. So I do see a lot of positive potential in the month of May. Think about the flowers that are now blooming, the yellow and the white. They are the colors of Beltane to lead us through this merry month of May. And I hope you can have a wonderful time during this awakening taking place on the planet. Many blessings.